the world woke up to news that could reshape an entire region. Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, a figure who had stood at the center of Middle Eastern geopolitics for decades, has died at age 86. Verified reports from international outlets confirm that state media in Tehran acknowledged his death after a major joint military operation reportedly involving the United States and Israel. For decades, Khamenei was more than a head of state. He was the living face of Iran's revolution, the voice of its government, and the symbol of its defiance, both domestically and on the world stage. Now, abruptly and without warning, that symbol has fallen. Khamenei's rise to power began after the death of Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini in 1989, making him the second supreme leader of the Islamic Republic. For 37 years, he steered Iran's political, religious, and military direction. Under his authority, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard became a dominant force in politics and strategy, and dissent inside the country was often met with a harsh response. He was a figure of immense influence, a man whose decisions shaped wars abroad, protests at home, nuclear ambitions, and alliances with militant groups across the region. To supporters, he was a guardian of Iranian sovereignty. To critics, he was an authoritarian whose rule suppressed freedoms and fueled regional tensions. According to multiple international agencies, Iranian state media confirmed early Sunday that Khamenei had been killed. Reports say the announcement came after statements from U.S. and Israeli officials claiming he died during a coordinated military campaign that targeted his compound and leadership network. Days of mourning were declared across Iran, a rare moment of national pause. President Donald Trump publicly claimed Khamenei's death on social media, framing it as a moment of accountability after decades of conflict. Iran's government described their leader's passing with solemn language, declaring formal mourning and recognizing him as a martyr. Khamenei's life was a study in contrasts. Early in his political career, he survived assassination attempts, rose through the ranks of the revolution, and eventually consolidated power over Iran's clerical, military, and political institutions. Internationally, he was perhaps most known for his staunch resistance to the United States and Israel. For years, he led a foreign policy that viewed Western influence as a threat, supporting proxy groups in neighboring nations and expanding Iran's regional impact. Inside Iran, his legacy is equally complex. He presided over crackdowns on protest movements, strict social policies, and recurring economic struggles reinforced by international sanctions. Critics around the world often pointed to human rights concerns under his watch. Across Iran, state officials announced 40 days of national mourning. Images from cities show quiet streets, flags at half-mast, and state broadcasts honoring his life of leadership. International reactions poured in as well. Some governments expressed condolences. Others warned of unpredictable consequences. Diplomatic leaders called for calm, while analysts debated what this power vacuum might mean for regional stability. Yet beyond the politics and strategy, there's a human moment here too. A figure who shaped millions of lives is gone without a successor yet chosen, leaving families, citizens, and world leaders to wrestle with sudden uncertainty. With Khamenei's passing, Iran faces one of the most significant political transitions in decades. The constitution empowers the Assembly of Experts to select a new supreme leader, but no clear frontrunner has been announced. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps remains influential, and foreign policy tensions are at a peak. This moment raises fundamental questions about the future direction of Iran. Will the next leader follow the same path? Will internal factions vie for control? Will regional tensions escalate or ease? These aren't abstract issues. They are questions that could shape the lives of millions, from Tehran to Washington and far beyond. Ali Khamenei's death marks a watershed moment not just for Iran, but for global politics. He lived through revolution and war, protest and diplomacy, conflict and negotiation. His absence creates a chapter break in the story of the Middle East, one that will be debated, analyzed, and remembered across generations. History will judge his policies. Millions will assess what his rule meant. But at this moment, the world is left in a rare state of uncertainty, wondering not just about succession, but about the future of a region long defined by his influence. Because when the leader of a nation so central to global steadiness disappears, everything that follows carries the weight of what came before.